Review Alabama's 87-78 victory over Baylor. Alabama earned its fifth win against a top 15 ranked team Saturday when it beat Baylor, ranked number 4 in the Associated Press poll, in Coleman Coliseum. Baylor, the defending national champions, are the third team from last season's Final Four that Alabama has played this season. The Tide previously defeated then No. 3 Gonzaga and then No. 14 Houston. More in Alabama sports. Number 4 Baylor at Alabama live stream. How to watch Big 12/SEC Challenge online, TV, time. Suni Lee wins all-around debut as Auburn Gymnastics beats rival Alabama. Former Alabama LB arrested, facing armed robbery charges. Here were the live updates as the game progressed. Second half. Alabama 87, Baylor 78. Alabama scored on 6 of its final 7 possessions to hold off the defending champions and send Coleman Coliseum into a frenzy again. The final seconds and rammer jammer as Alabama upsets number 4 Baylor in Coleman Coliseum for its 5th top 15 win this season. pic.twitter.com/3A3YOZQZ5J. Alabama 81, Baylor 71. Coleman Coliseum's crowd reached a fever pitch again when Alabama's defense forced a Baylor turnover and then J.D. Davison dunked in transition. The lead is back to double digits, and Alabama is playing with the defensive effort necessary to keep it. Alabama 70, Baylor 62. The visitors went on an 8-0 to cut Alabama's lead to 5 points with 8 minutes remaining, but a timely three-pointer by Yavin Quinterly added back to the lead. It was Quinterly's third three-pointer on 6 attempts, his most makes from beyond the arc since the Oakland game in November. He's up to 19 points total. Alabama 57, Baylor 42. The roof is about to blow off Coleman Coliseum as Alabama takes a 15-point lead over Baylor, boosted by a 14-2 run. The Tide has scored on its past 7 offensive possessions, with Keon Ellis the latest scorer to find his stroke, hitting a three-pointer before Baylor was forced to call another timeout. Alabama 50, Baylor 40. Another Baylor turnover resulted in a transition bucket for Keon Ellis, and Alabama has its first double-digit lead of the game. This is a 7-0 run for the Tide, which has held Baylor to 6 points in 11 second-half possessions. Alabama 45, Baylor 40. Some action in the past few minutes in Coleman Coliseum, where there have been 6 turnovers, 2 missed alley-oops and a pair of technical fouls. Alabama is up to 12 turnovers and Baylor has 11. Fouls also could be a factor down the stretch. Baylor already has 5 in the second half and Alabama has 4. First half. Alabama 38, Baylor 34. Another 8-0 run from Baylor erased Alabama's 7-0 lead for the second time in the first half. But the Tide went on a 7-2 run before halftime, scoring on its final 4 possessions. Yavin Quinterly has a team-high 12 points, and Alabama is out-rebounding Baylor, 15-12. Alabama 29, Baylor 26. Alabama grew its lead back to 7 points with help from another three-pointer by Yavin Quinterly, but Baylor is making another run as it did earlier in the half. Alabama has only 2 points from a player not named Quinterly since the 11-minute mark of the first half. Alabama 22, Baylor 20. Alabama's 8-point lead evaporated quickly, with Baylor's Matthew Meyer hitting back-to-back three-pointers as the Bears' offense continued to find its footing. Alabama is shooting only 2-4-9 from three-point range, but Yavin Quinterly's first triple on 3 attempts just fell to put Alabama back ahead. Nate Oates is playing a lot of Quinterly and J.D. Davison together on the court today. Alabama 15, Baylor 10. Alabama went on a 9-0 run, boosted by J.D. Davison coming off the bench and hitting the Tide's first three-pointer, followed by 2 assists. But overall Alabama is shooting 1-4-7 from deep and Baylor's offense is starting to clean up its turnover issues from the game's first 4 minutes. Alabama 6, Baylor 3. As expected, there is a lot of energy in Coleman Coliseum and Alabama's players seem to be feeding off it, especially on the defensive end. They have forced 4 Baylor turnovers in 8 possessions, although offensively Alabama is struggling itself with 3 turnovers and 0-4-4 shooting from 3. Pre-game. Yavin Quinterly is back in Alabama's starting lineup over J.D. Davison, who had started the previous 3 games over Quinterly. Juwan Gary, as Nate Oates said Friday, is warming up and looks to be available for today's game. James Rojas is getting the start at forward again, though, over Gary. Mike Rodak is an Alabama beat reporter for Alabama Media Group. Follow him on Twitter at Mike Rodak.